Beyonce, lighting for you. All right, Cowboy Carter, lighting breakdown. You can see that Beyonce is going around the world on a world tour, and it's about her Cowboy album, which I think is called Cowboy Carter. And I want to break this down for you. We're going to do Beyonce on a budget, show you how they probably did the Beyonce lighting. In fact, this is how I would photograph Beyonce. We want to play something called 85% rule. The 85% rule is whenever we reverse engineer somebody's lighting, you always want to get to about 85%. You never want to copy somebody 100% because it's pretty awful and it's in bad taste. So I always say, do the 85% rule. Get yourself there. That last 15% is your own magic, your own flair, your own interpretation of the artwork. This is the only way that art evolves. So we're going to get to the Beyonce shoot about 85%. You can do the Beyonce shoot with 3 lights, you could do it with 2, or you could do it with 1 and a little bit of retouching. 1 doesn't look bad at all either. Let me show you this image on screen that I photographed of Usher. This was for his world tour. This was 1 light. We did it in a very, very small room that I would even argue was like the size of a walk-in closet. And we did this with a lens that was a kit lens on a 5D Mark II camera. So you could do a lot of amazing things on a budget. But let's break down the Beyonce photograph that I picked of this lot of images. The one that I picked is the one that I think is going to serve you the best, and it's going to give you most opportunity to photograph recording artists because they use these kind of images for Spotify. They use it for good PR press photos, for iTunes, Apple Music, everything. Before I break down that image, I want to let you know that I'm also going to be screen sharing and you're going to be able to see the layout of the Beyonce shoot. I kind of have like a little mock Beyonce for you. It's the closest that I can get on my computer. And then we're going to pick out the lights and build this out and you'll get an idea of how it's done. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I look at the photograph that I want to reverse engineer. The first thing that I did in this photograph is that I compare the 2 prominent shadows that I see. There's 3 shadows that really is prominent in this photo, but the first 2 that matter to me is the shadow that is created from her hat, and the second shadow is right underneath her chin. Those 2 shadows predominantly, this shadow, because you're always going to have your chin with you, is going to tell you how high that light is. It's also going to tell you where that light was positioned, and potentially it's going to get you the kind of light that they use or get you really close to it. So that's the first thing that I wanted to do. Then number 2 is I want to compare those 2 prominent shadows. So I'm comparing this shadow that goes here with the shadow of her cowboy hat. That's not a cowboy hat, but it's a 3D render. Okay. The third one is I want to look at the shadow that I see in the photograph that is behind her, and that is on the wall. The first shadow is, you can see that the lighting is more frontal, just a little bit to the side. How do I know that? Because when you look at the shadow underneath the chin, you can see that it's pretty frontal because it still is directly underneath her chin, but slightly comes down to an angle. I'm not sure how the video is going to flip the image, so I'm just going to assume that the lighting comes from this side, so the shadow moves to right there. I know that the lighting underneath, or the shadow underneath the cowboy hat, is very similar. So it's probably one big light in the front. I also know that the shadow behind her on the wall is a little bit softer and it's a little bit lifted. So there are a few reasons why that could be. One of them, just right off the top of my head, would be that, okay, so Beyonce is about 3.5, maybe 4 feet away from that wall. The 85 compresses it, makes her look like she's closer to the wall. Just told you, I think she's photographed with an 85mm lens, or that's what I would photograph her with. And then I also want to let you know that they probably use some kind of a fill, and I'll break that down for you, to lighten that shadow and lift it up so it's not as dark. Although the one under her chin is darker, which could have been some post-processing too. Finally, I look and see, okay, what is she wearing? You always want to look at the clothing too. Beyonce is wearing leather. I'm going to assume it's leather, but it could be vinyl, etc. That's a very difficult material to photograph. So it's very shiny. It has a high chance of blowing out. That means then that the light output is probably from that key light. So probably the output of that light is, I want to say, on the lower half, maybe even a quarter. It just depends on the studio settings. Okay, here we go. I'm going to build this out. I wanted to break it down and see how my brain works. Now let's go through this and talk about it. As you can see on screen that Beyonce is standing in this plane. It's in her room. room. It could be a much smaller room. I just wanted to give myself a little bit of space to show you guys. Okay, so I know Beyonce's music. I know that she's really talented and she works really hard, but I don't know her music like that. So I regret it now. I asked AI, I was like, hey, help me sound like a Beyonce fan and help me make some titles. So when you see these titles, I need you to know that they're not from me. I approve them, but they're not from me. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Please don't hate me because I hate me for already doing this. Let me upgrade you. I think that's a song of hers. Let me upgrade you to better lighting. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. So the first thing is I'm going to build this room out, okay? And I'm going to be looking down on my computer a lot and I'll look at you sometimes too. I need to assess where I'm at. I'm in a very neutral room. I got a lady, that's not any lady, that's superstar Beyonce. We're gonna come in, put her in like a Catwoman suit, and I could try to get the hands as close as I could to the photograph. The guitar is just there for decor. It just doesn't need to be there. I have a background for her that's a very light gray. The first thing that I want to say is, okay, so let's compare the photograph for Beyonce and let's just see what type of lighting we used. I'm gonna just go ahead and it's definitely not a ring light. If we did a ring lights produce really horrible shadows. It's not it. So that is not the Beyonce image at all. So we're gonna take out the ring light. Do you see how moving a light up and down can affect things? That's definitely not it. I would personally use this reflector right here. And I'm gonna put this light back just a little bit. Let's see if this can get us pretty close to the Beyonce lighting that we have. Already you can see that we're kind of getting somewhat there. I'm going to take the camera. As you can see, when I bring the camera up and down, it'll show where it's at. I'm going to, for the moment, no, I got to leave the camera there because that's what we light for. I'm going to bring the camera lower. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. This light, I would say, I'm not happy until, let's move in closer to Beyonce. Okay, Beyonce. I'm going to bring this light up. I'm going to look at that shadow. I'm really mainly looking at this on the right side, the little preview panel. And I like that because it, just like the photograph, the chin lighting comes down, but it comes down a little bit to the side. So for the moment, I'm okay with this. And for the moment, I do believe that this is the modifier. I'm not going to put a diffusion in front of it. This is easier lighting than you would imagine. You know what I'm not happy about is Beyonce's background was a lot whiter. So I gotta get me another light. It really doesn't matter which of these lights that I get. There are speed lights and continuous lighting. I'm not gonna do continuous. Let's see if we... Okay, I'm definitely going to bring in another mono. Let's just bring a mono. And I'm gonna bring in this one. Is very similar. It doesn't really matter. And there's a couple ways that I would consider this, okay? So I could put it here and then I can rotate this. Look at the preview. Look at behind Beyonce. You're not going to get it 100% perfect because then in post they made it 100% perfect. But that suddenly changes. Another way that I would consider lighting the background so it's not too hot is straight up at that ceiling. Then I'm going to increase the output and that lifts up the shadows a bunch. Do you see now how we're getting, if with that light off, the shadow is black. With the light up about halfway, we get a much better lifted shadow. So I'm going to place this here, but let me move back into the room so you can see it. It shines into the ceiling. It spreads and it comes down. My God, you guys need to subscribe to this channel because this is just realness here. Okay, so I have a camera here. I have this light here. I think I want to move this back just a little bit to make room for my camera. And I'm still going to come down a bit more. And I'm going to compare the shadow of Beyonce to this. Let's go. Just like that. All right, let's come back in. I'm also looking at the shadow underneath the hat. Let's see, where is Beyonce's lighting? So now I'm going to go ahead and look at that photo, and this light seems to come down right past her eyebrow. So I want to go ahead and try to match that right there. Yeah, I need to bring this light down just a little bit. So looking at the preview on the right side, that's where we got this light. Now her face is a lot darker. So I'm going to bring this light up just about halfway, and no more than halfway. I'm going to raise the ISO to about 400. That brings me closer to Beyonce. I'm going to say this is 5.6, the settings, and damn. Actually, I'm going to bring it to about 250. Okay. Now the shadow is right underneath Beyonce's, pretty much. I just got to lift her head up just a little bit. Okay, so we will take her, we'll work on that in just a second. So now I have the lighting. I still don't think that this is enough. We can go closer to the ceiling, come down, see what happens to her shadow. We're just going to move this up a little bit closer. That's fine. And now the next thing that I want to do is still add some more fill. So we're going to go to this department here and bring in some massive V-flats. V-flats are such savers of everything. Holy, okay, beautiful photos. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, move this up. Just don't fall on her. Beyonce would be very mad. And we're going to just move this in just a little bit closer. I know that right here in the main photo it blocks, but it in the actual photograph it does not. But I do believe that I want to make it even. I know I want to make it more even. So I'm going to bring in a second one, and we're going to, a lot of times you want to bring people in and close them in. Psychologically, it fits better. And also it just gives you so much more control of the light, because those big V-flats are not just bouncing the light, but it's also blocking light also. So now I have Beyonce. I think that she is blown out, man. I'm going to have to bring this ISO back to about 125. This is way more comfortable of where we want to be. This is pretty much what I would do if I was photographing Beyonce. Let's give you a little tour the tour, okay? So from the side, that's what you're seeing. This light here on the side, but I'm going to add one more actually. This light bounces up to the ceiling, comes back down, and let's bring down the studio lights a bit too. And see, when I bring the studio lights down, it doesn't actually affect the photograph at all on the upper right hand corner. So we'll bring the studio light down just a bit, and you can see how this light jumps up and comes back down and really fills up the background. We have one key light here. I didn't put a diffusion because I wanted a good hard light, because Beyonce had a hard light on her throat. But let's do another tour just to give you a perspective from behind. That's the seamless. She's in her heels this whole time. From above. Okay, now we're going to go in. What can I do? I'm going to just do a very quick little monolight, and we're just going to go, which one do I want? Something super weak. Let's put this here, and we're going to try to get a kick light if we can. I'm going to go much higher right there. The output is going to be down, and what the kick light does, look, I'm going to go all the way maximum power wattage, and you get to see that it brings a little bit of shine. But mainly what it does is that it lights up the hair a bit, and it separates Beyonce from the background. So even though we're photographing her against white, it just separates her a bit. So here's the second title: Ring the Alarms. That's so bad. No, I'm going to say it. I'm going to own it. I'm a Beyonce fan. Yeah, I'm going to fake this thing. Yay, Beehive. This is great. Ring the alarms. Your composition is off. If you look at the Beyonce photo, I'm looking at it on my phone. Beyonce is looking down just a little bit at us. And you can see it on your screen too. We are too far. Like, the fake Beyonce here is looking down a bit too much. So that means the camera is going to have to come up just a little bit on the tripod. Check this out. If the camera is lower, Beyonce fake Beyonce on the right side. Look, that's pretty though. She looks really insignificant. She looks tiny. If I bring it down a little bit lower, that's still an attractive angle, but I want to, because she's such a superstar, we're not going to shoot at, we're going to go just a little bit lower. Now she's looking down at the audience. That's superstar level. And then the cropping, you could see it. If I want to get a little more body, I would move maybe here. I'm going to turn the camera just a bit. We're going to center her. Boom, Beyonce. I can't tell the difference. Yeah, I can, obviously, but I cannot really. That's very close. This is the last embarrassing one. I am feeling myself with just one light. But I used 3 here, but you could do 1 also. If this helped you, I've got so much more for you that is free. It is inside of my Discord, which is for the community. It is VBA, Visual Business Academy. It's for photographers, videographers, filmmakers, and it's free. And it's going to remain free. And so when you go in there, and what you're going to do is you're going to go in there and you're going to engage with the rest of the community. There's other people like me, but they're going to be super advanced, super beginning, intermediate, different parts of the world, different styles, photo, filmmaking, video, etc. We're there to help each other because the comments of the internet is fake news, it's the trenches, it's everything. So you are going to be there. I'm going to offer you free workshops, portfolio reviews. We're doing some of those this week. You're getting free portfolio reviews. We're doing so much. It's complete mentorship for your business, and it is inside of the Discord. There is no catch whatsoever. Thank you for watching. I hope you get to recreate this. Let me know if it helped you. Let me know if you want me to redo somebody else's photo shoot. I'll look into that. My name is Walid Azami. You can click subscribe if you wish. And my work, by the way, is right there. Thank you.